Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's me again, and the movie is Romance on the Run, which is number 3 of my list of old movies from the 30s you should check out. This one is from 1938, starring Donald Woods, Patricia Ellis, and Edward Brophy. So the famous necklace known as the Tsarina's Tear is stolen, and the hunt for the thieves who pulled off this daring job is on. Barry Drake is called in. Now, the hero always deserves an excellent introduction, and Donald Woods gets one. I've noticed similarities of this character to that of Boston Blackie. Of course, this movie was made a few years before the Blackie films, so the character is a detective of sorts with shady connections. As he investigates, the police become convinced of his guilt, and he now must catch the real thieves to prove his own innocence. And like Blackie, he also has a comical sidekick/henchman. But what I find is really interesting isn't the similarities, it's the differences. The actors brought such unique personalities to the same roles. Donald Woods has a very distinct screen persona that escapes into just all of his roles, even whenever he's playing a villain. Now, Romance on the Run is an all-around fun, witty film. In this, there's just so much running around. They take a train, they take a car, they're traveling from state to state. And the Romance on the Run part is kind of a double thing here because the thieves the main characters are after are another couple on the run. Something I found really funny and also quite fitting is this small detail they included. Now, Wood's character doesn't have a change of clothes because his valet forgot to pack anything. And that leads to a hilarious joke while they're on the train. But then Barry Drake is just wearing this fancy dinner jacket for the whole rest of the picture. And I think that just really fits the character here. It also makes him look extra out of place when they get stuck in the middle of Tennessee. A scene that really is one of the highlights of the picture. So, stranded in the middle of nowhere, they're in search for some gas, and they end up at this whole old cabin full of hillbillies. And the hillbillies are portrayed just so comically and undeniably accurate that it's just hysterical. Now, Patricia Ellis was great in this kind of lighthearted adventure. Apparently, early in her career, Ellis lied about her age in order to sign a contract with Warner Brothers in 1932. She told the studio she was 16, but she was only 14, and the truth was not discovered for 2 years, and by that time, she was the right age anyway. But in the meantime, she was cast in several films, first earning a credited role in King's Vacation in 1933. And also during that same year, this girl got her first starring part as the love interest in James Cagney film The Picture Snatcher. And next thing you know, she was starring with Douglas Fairbanks. And over the rest of that decade, she appeared in over 30 films, specializing in comedies, and almost all as the leading lady. Now, by the 40s, she left film for a brief career in singing before marrying and retiring to home life. Edward Brophy was a popular character actor and comedian who got remembered for his Brooklyn accented, streetwise character. He played dumb gangsters, bungling cops, and, as a film critic once described, a very odd kind of valet. And when I think of him, this movie is always the first one that comes to mind. He's great in this, so funny. Earlier in his career, he worked as a production manager at MGM, and while working on location of Buster Keaton's cameraman, an actor failed to show up. Keaton, who had been already having difficulties with the studio at this time, decided to recruit Brophy rather than wait for the studio to send him a substitute. And although Brophy only appeared in a brief scene, his performance drew enough attention in this that Keaton went on to cast him in several more of his films. And because of his role in the Buster Keaton films, the studio also began to offer him better parts in the future. Now, the character of Lieutenant Eckert in this picture is very typical of William Demarest roles. A character actor who started out in vaudeville, Demarest was acting from the 1920s all the way into the 70s. He was extremely prolific, appeared in loads of films and television. And he played a lot of detectives, oftentimes stuck chasing down the likes of the Ritz brothers and Abbott and Costello. This is one of my favorite of those roles, though, and I think it's because he's matched up with Donald Woods, who manages to deliver so many great lines almost every minute of the film.
Maybe you can tell us how you always manage to find stolen property so quickly.
Sure. I just stop and figure, now where would Lieutenant Eckert look for it? Then I look somewhere else.
I love when characters can play so well off of each other's lines, and it shows not only a good script, but great teamwork among the cast. And speaking of the cast, there's one more I'd like to mention. The actress who played Lily Lamont, one of the thieves, Grace Bradley, was an actress, singer, dancer, and pianist. Her career in Hollywood stretched across almost a decade. She was cast in dozens of second feature roles, usually as a singer. After meeting William Boyd, the Hopalong Cassidy star, on a blind date, the two married, and she, for the most part, put her acting career behind her. Well, this is my favorite type of movie to just sit and watch. Like I said before, it's just so fun and lighthearted. You can almost tell the people making it were enjoying their work. It was just a small picture, but you can feel this kind of old Hollywood magic in the background. Donald Woods brought that kind of energy to most of his films, as did Patricia Ellis. So thanks for tuning in today. I really do hope you check out this movie if you haven't seen it. And I'm going to throw in a little bonus recommendation today, in case you're interested in more Donald Woods movies. Another great one I would recommend is Danger on the Air. But I still have 2 more films to go on this list that I'm doing, and that will be The Tip-Off and Counterfeit. So stay tuned.